One Zambia, One Nation. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us on tonight's edition of the Zanis News. Today, the 24th of April 2023. My name is Kalan Muchima to present the news. The headlines. UNICEF worried over low number of children receiving vaccines. Parliamentary Committee on Legislation rejects a Mofila Council report. Lufonyama residents happy with projects. Plus, Kenneth Kaunda's memory glorified. The United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, has raised concerns over the low number of children receiving routine medical vaccines. According to UNICEF's recent report, over 320,000 children in Zambia missed the primary vaccines for children under 1 year in 2022. Here's a report.
It is estimated that 1 out of 3 children in Zambia is not vaccinated, a condition referred to as zero dose. This situation undoubtedly subtracts from the adage that a vaccinated child is a healthy child.
Most of the zero-dose children that we have in the country are located along the line of rail and also in the main transport corridors.
UNICEF country representative Penelope Campbell further reveals that over 320,000 children in Zambia remain unvaccinated and missed all primary vaccines for children under 1 year.
Far too many children are not getting the protection they need. And what the report highlights is how reaching the last child, including the last child in Zambia, is remaining a huge challenge. In Zambia, we estimate around 320,000 young children age 1 and under are unvaccinated today.
Ministry of Health National Expanded Program on Immunization Manager Jacob Sakala attributed the low turnout of children being vaccinated.
So the challenges that we have as a country is that we have got low coverage. So we're recording the highest number of districts, particularly after the COVID era, that have coverages lower than 80%. So that is a problem.
An immunization specialist at the World Health Organization, Dr. Sande Moses, has appealed to the media in Zambia to prioritize publicity of health information and ensure only credible health information is timely disseminated to the public.
One of the roles the media has is to ensure that informations are gotten from credible sources. And the credible sources are the Ministry of Health, its agencies or departments, the EPI, and other agencies of government.
Lou Majila reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
Still in health news, but this time around we take you to Luapula province, where Care International Zambia has donated assorted cholera prevention materials to the Mwansabombwe District Health Office. Acting Public Health Officer Lilian Mvula, who received the materials on behalf of the District Health Director Abraham Mubupe, says the consignment will help improve sanitation in communities. More in the following report.
Care International Zambia has continued supplementing government efforts to prevent the outbreak of waterborne diseases. In Kawambwa, the organization has donated various cholera prevention materials, which includes chlorine, hand sanitizers, and other hand-washing facilities.
Then we have granular chlorine, which is in 10 kgs. There are 5 of them. And then we also have these hand-washing facilities, as well as those containers. And then we also have the liquid soap, which is also part of the consignment that we have brought. So the value of this donation we are making is about 44,000 kwacha.
Kawambwa District Commissioner Godfrey Chilambwe was present during the handover ceremony.
The donation will go a long way, in fact, and if anything, prevention is less costly compared to the treatment of the outbreak. So what we have done is a great demonstration of charity, and this is how it should be.
And District Health Director Lwendo Muzere was thankful for the donation.
Such donations like the one which has come from Care International at this time is very, very important to our district as the Kawambwa Minister of Health. So we'll forever be grateful to this donation, and we'll continue looking forward to more cooperation.
Lewis Changwe, Zanis, Kawambwa.
The Parliamentary Committee on Energy, Water Development and Tourism has bemoaned the poor state of infrastructure supporting tourism in Northern Circuit. Committee team leader Miriam Chonya, who is also a member of Parliament, says there is need to put in place infrastructure to boost the tourism sector. Kennedy Chomba brings us this report.
The tourism sector is among the sectors that government wants to promote in growing the economy of the country. In the Northern Circuit, Luapula is among the provinces with a fair share of tourism sites, among them waterfalls and the Bangweuli wetlands. However, these areas have received little support in terms of infrastructure to make them attractive to tourists.
But generally, we think that there's more room to improve in terms of stakeholders on the ground, being able to come together, brainstorm, and see how practically they can make tourism work. Otherwise, as things stand now, it looks like we are recording more challenges than successes as far as tourism in the Northern Circuit is concerned.
Wapla Province Minister Derek Chirundika is aware of the challenge and wants more to be done in restocking the many national parks in the province.
So if the committee can look into even the restocking of the wild animals in our parks, it will even make it much more attractive than it may be. We've got enough land, we've got enough grazing land, we've got a lot of water bodies. Everywhere you go, Luapula looks beautiful.
The committee later interacted with stakeholders in the tourism sector.
So restocking to those that have gone under. And they've gone under due to a lot of poaching. And poaching because we are understaffed.
The coordination has been coming up and again. If you look at the submissions that Mr. Mwaba has made, the submissions coming from the Chamber of Commerce and the submissions maybe that I'm also making, you'll find that we've got all this vast knowledge. We know the problems already, but what we don't have is a solution.
Kenneth Chomba, reporting for Zanis News in Mansa District.
In a related development, the Parliamentary Committee on Delegated Legislation has rejected a presentation from the Mufulira Municipal Council on the local authority's implementation of a statutory instrument number 30 of the Public Procurement Regulations of 2022. Leader of the committee, Remember Mtale, says the committee expected a detailed report showing how the SI is being implemented in the district. More in the following report.
Leader of the Parliamentary Committee on Delegated Legislation, Remember Mtale, says members of management of local authorities need to familiarize themselves with various statutory instruments to ensure their proper implementation. The Parliamentary Committee on Delegated Legislation, which was on a mission to appreciate the implementation of statutory instrument number 30 of Public Procurement Regulations of 2022, rejected a presentation by the Mufulira Municipal Council, saying the document lacked information on how the SI is being implemented and how it has been received by the various stakeholders.
You serve the public. This law we are talking about is for the public. And you are the people to go and explain to the public. So we shall not shy away and start going around, massaging you. No.
Earlier, Mufulira Municipal Council Town Clerk Moses Mwelwa made a presentation to the committee on the SI's implementation in Mufulira, but the contents of the presentation left the parliamentarians discontented.
Are you implementing this SI here in Mufulira? Is it in use?
There's no way we can conduct public procurement without referring to the regulations.
This EGP system, do they know about it and what have you done? Did you have any pre-bid meetings?
Rachel Chisulo, reporting for Zanis in Mufulira.
Moving on, government has reiterated commitment to continue strengthening bilateral relations with Angola in order to develop infrastructure in both countries. Western Province Minister Kapelwa Bangweta said this when receiving a delegation from Angola ahead of the Regional Cooperation and Cultural Exchange Forum visit. Here's a report.
And Angola has had for many years a mutual interest at regional and national level. These bilateral relations prompted the exchange visit by both presidents of the countries in January this year, where a memorandum of understanding was signed for development of various sectors in the countries. Against this backdrop, the governor of the province of Moshiko has visited Western Province to establish a framework aimed at enhancing regional cooperation between the two provinces in sectors of education, livestock, agriculture, security, political affairs, health, culture, as well as economic sectors. Minister for Western Province, Kapelwa Bangweta, has this to say.
The general approach is that we want to strengthen the various relationships in the various sectors between the two countries so that we can get the benefits from the synergies.
Governor of Moshiko Province, His Excellency Dr. Ernesto Mwangala, says the visits will impact on various economic benefits of both countries.
Okay. In the framework of the agreement that was executed by our both presidents in January, my visit here is to identify beneficial sectors and also to get to know entrepreneurs and businessmen who are willing to create projects for both governments. And you know that main Angolan nationals in Chico, they come to Zambia for health services. We are also trying to solve this kind of situation.
Zambia and Angola in January this year signed a memorandum of understanding which included agreements on infrastructure development, maintaining strategic partners in areas of mutual interest at national, regional and global level. Mulima Stumbeko reporting for Zanis in Pongo District, Western Province.
Still in Western Province, the Shangombo Town Council has disbursed over 1.9 million kwacha under the 2022 Constituency Development Fund CDF grants allocation. District Treasurer Abish Chongo says about 129 clubs that applied for livestock rearing and purchasing of sewing machines have since benefited from the grants. Mr. Chongo says most of the clubs whose applications were approved have since used the money for the various activities. He cited a women's club called Swalisano Group in Keyena, which is doing well with the livestock acquired through the CDF grant. And Swalisano Club member Nosiku Mununga says her club received 15,000 kwacha. Now, residents of Rufonyama's swampy areas have praised the government for easing their movements. They expressed their gratitude when Rufonyama Member of Parliament Ken Siasichumo handed over a new water vessel procured using the Constituency Development Fund CDF. Agrippa Silumbwe has more in this report.
Government has continued to improve the movement of people living in water bodies by providing them with reliable water transport using the Constituency Development Fund in Rufonyama District. 5 villages have so far benefited from this initiative in the area.
Twatashana wakateka besu wa HH pakutupela ECDF yo twawonfya ukushitamo ububwato.
We donated 4 boats. We donated one at Rwabufuvu. For many years, they have been suffering. So we donated a boat where people are paddling for 1 hour and some minutes. It's a very big lake. And we have also donated 2 boats to other areas, along Rufonyama and Rusuishi. Also at after Chikabuke, going further, Butapa, we have also donated a boat. So this year, we want also to donate 4 boats in different areas.
The gesture has been extended to the people of Luswish Ward, who have for many years endured the paddling of unreliable canoes.
We have seen quite a number of people drowning in this river, you know, Rusishi River and the Rufanyama River. So we thought it wise to accept their request so that, you know, we can give them this boat and they will use it, you know, to cross. The people will be using this boat to cross, and also they are going to transport their farming inputs.
This boat will serve a great job there at Luswishi River, the crossing point at St. Kalobwe. Crossing between Kabundia Ward and the Luswish Ward. But my other emphasis is that RDA come on board in Lufwanyama. Can you give us bridges? Because these boats, yes, we've given them, it's a temporary thing.
Provision of new water transport in Lufwanyama swampy areas have been described as a great achievement by beneficiaries in this part of Copperbelt province. Reporting, I'm Agrippa Slumboy.
Seems that's how the CDF is changing people's lives. And of course, now government has built the first ever permanent classroom blocks at Kashongo and Mukulisho primary schools in Lukulu East constituency using the Constituency Development Fund CDF. Cosman's Soka has the rest in this report.
The increased Constituency Development Fund has continued bearing fruits in various constituencies across the country. In Lukulu East constituency, the local authority using the fund has built the first ever permanent classroom blocks at Kashongo and Mukulisho primary schools.
Before, these pupils around this same school, Kashongo primary school, they used to school under a poor and mud classroom block behind this new classroom block.
I was the first government teacher to be deployed here, and I found that there was no structure that was conducive for learning until when we applied for CDF.
The local authority has also procured desks for the two schools, in line with the presidential directive that no people should sit on the floor while attending to lessons.
This project was constructed at a cost of 375,000 kwacha. From here, we are going to Mukulisho, handing over the desks, and at the same time again to introduce the other new infrastructure that we have handed over, where people also were suffering from the poor and mud kind of classrooms.
Meanwhile, stakeholders have attributed the numerous developmental projects being implemented in the constituents to the timely disbursement of funds by government.
For the increment of CDF funds from 1.6 to 28.3, there is a lot of things which are happening out there. So we do appreciate the vision of the president, and us as a CDF committee, we are trying to implement, to fulfill the vision of the president, whereby where there is no schools, they're supposed to construct the schools. Where there is no desk like here.
Cosma Soka, Zanis in Lukulu District, Western Province.
In other news, the Southern Province Freedom Fighters Association has recalled the late first Republican President Kenneth Kaunda as a beacon of peace. Association chairperson Bernard Namula says Dr. Kaunda championed national unity through the signing of the Choma Declaration in 1972. Kalunga Msonda filed in this report.
He walks through the Choma Declaration, remembering the late first Republican President, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, and the role that he played in bringing peace and unity to the people of Zambia. This place was among the major foundations of peace and unity, which has deeply contributed to Zambia's prevailing peaceful atmosphere being enjoyed today. Southern Province Freedom Fighters Association remembers the late Republican President Dr. Kenneth Kaunda as a man who fought for peace and unity.
Kaunda, that's when we must remember him more, agreed to meet his arch-enemy, Kumbra, to meet where are we taking our people. Look at Congo. That was our example. They have not seen any peace in Congo. Why can't we sit and agree? We know power is sweet, but we can't make our people be killed. I think we have had no problem in building one Zambia, one nation in Zambia. Because the foundation Kaunda brought was intermarriage. That was the number one key element. He said, marry each other.
Mr. Namula, who was present during the signing of the peace treaty in 1972, vividly recalls the happening of that day here at the Choma Declaration.
The thing was called in Choma Secondary School. And that meeting was given a special name, Choma Declaration. You heard about Choma Declaration, you young generation. We saw it coming, Choma Declaration. We agreed, and it was on this hill where the signing Kumbula made. Kaunda signed for peace here on this hill. And we were all gathered here when they were signing. That's how we gained our peace.
The Choma Declaration, which is the genesis of the peace and unity Zambia is now enjoying, will always be remembered of Zambia's first Republican president, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. Kalunga Msonda, Zanis News, Choma District, Southern Province.
Now, as various stakeholders continue to remember and honor the legacy of Zambia's founding president, Kenneth Kaunda, his talent and love for music has not been forgotten. The late Keki is remembered for using music as a tool to solicit for support during the emancipation struggle from the colonial masters. Lakson Makosa gives us more on the following report.
Zambia's founding father, Kenneth Kaunda's passion and love for music was embedded in his DNA. Among the musical instruments Dr. Kaunda could play effortless were the guitar and the piano as he sang along. He mostly sang Christian hymns, folk music and liberation songs. The liberation songs composed by Dr. Kaunda were aimed at galvanizing and soliciting for solidarity during the liberation struggle.
His music had a meaning, songs about being together. And that's why I'm talking about one Zambia, one nation. I'm saying one Zambia, one nation, one people in my song. He united us.
To this day, his music life has continued to inspire modern-day music artists.
This man, each and every time he had to express himself through music, he loved the guitar. And it's not just like mouthing or talking about it, but you could see as artists that you are behind a head of state who knows that music is important, that music unites, music has no tribe, music has no race.
The onus is on the modern-day artists to emulate the music KK sang, which meant to unite and not divide the country.
Nowadays, people are composing music because of money, and I think there's no spirit of humanity, each one for himself.
Dr. Kaunda may be gone, but his music will forever echo in the hearts of music lovers. For Zanis, I'm Lakson Makosa.
And finally, in some sports news, the Motor Cross Association of Zambia held its round 2 of the National Motor Cross Championship. The championship attracted 44 riders from Zambia and Zimbabwe. Our staffer Audrey Kalenga was at the event and brought us this report.
Eureka Motorsport Committee member Dustin Fassel says the championship was successful as it attracted more riders compared to the first round, which only had 10 riders.
Motorsport Park here today, everyone's having fun. Just had the first heat and it's going well. We've had in excess of 60 rider entries, so we're very happy about that. It's the biggest turnout for the year. I just won my race, the vets class. We've got the MX1 and 2 coming on, the big boys. And we're looking forward to, there's another 2 rounds of heats to follow.
The championship also had categories for girls, boys, and the adults.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna do better, but I'm having fun so far. It's a nice track.
Okay. Children that participated in the championship event appealed to their fellow young ones to stay away from alcohol and drugs and join motocross sport.
Many people so we can know each other, and it helps us to move from bad people who might tell us bad things about like drugs, smoking, all kind of things.
Just to tell them how to move the bike so you can move away from drugs and something else. Because bike and ice, you can go anywhere where you want. You can get sponsored and take you where you want. That's the promise of bikes.
Spectra Oil, one of the sponsors of the event, was thrilled to partner with Eureka in organizing the championship.
It looks like it has been nicely developed and we have got a very good race here today. We've had, the competition has been running for some time. We've done the Enduro, we sponsored the Enduro in Chisamba and Choma. And now we're here in Lusaka and we're still ongoing as the competition gets steeper. We should be at all the events. And as a main sponsor, we're actually excited to be here and be engaged with the motocross events.
Audrey Kalenga, Zanis News, Lusaka.
Of course, that item in sports brings us to the end of our main news. But before we go, a quick look at the headlines once again. UNICEF worried over low number of children receiving vaccines. Parliamentary Committee on Legislation rejects a Mofila Council report. Lufonyama residents happy with projects. Plus, Kenneth Kaunda's memory glorified. That's all the news desk could accommodate. Thank you so much for your company. May God bless you on behalf of the entire studio and technical crew. My name is Kalan Muchima. Pleasant viewing.